Hey Neppers, it's me, Wild Neptune. So, the collab that some people have said might happen to everybody saying it was going to happen is now 100% officially confirmed. That's right, the one that we all wanted, the one that we all suspected, the one we were all clamoring for all of this time. It is going to be Lycoris Recoil. That's right, it is Lycoris Recoil. Here is the official X post by Nikke, and here we go. Look at this. This is the little poster they give us with the characters here. So these three are the Lycoris Recoil characters, and it's going to have Milk, Prima, and Sugar here. So Cafe Sweetie is going to be the team that is going to be with the collab, and which makes sense when I read you the anime like little clip it in a second here. So yeah, this is a collab. And right away, so even before this announcement, I could tell that just from being on the Discord, I'm looking at the Reddit and seeing other people's, that people are not really that excited for it. I think people understand that the fit is pretty good, but the IP is, maybe not as popular or as widespread liked as maybe some other things that could have been collabs overall. On top of that, it doesn't help that the characters are like high school aged, although maybe because this is in the future, maybe they're older now. I don't know. Okay, just saying here. But yeah, this is the collab, and now let's go over to the anime page to get a little look at that. Neptune, I hear you asking me, what is Lycoris Recoil? Well, that is a very good question. Lycoris Recoil was an original anime that aired in 2022. It was actually one of the last shows I personally have finished. I finished it like so recently, not like in comparison to like the other shows I watched, that I myself have not actually scored it yet, because I tend not to score shows until I watch like every show in that season, and I just didn't like get to scoring this show. I'll be honest with you, I didn't remember a lot about it until I read the synopsis myself. Like, oh yeah, now I remember this show. Now, if you ask me what are the names of these characters, I don't know, right? Unfortunately, the anime itself did not really leave a lasting impression on me, even though I know just from my hazy memory that it was a good show. And unless you're looking for like the best of the best, like, and only can watch like maybe one or two shows like a month or like a season, then yeah, I would say this is probably worth your watch. Now, I'm going to read you the synopsis here, and you'll see why it might be a good fit for Nikke as a collab, like, conceptually. Right, so, Lycoris is a cafe with a traditional Japanese twist, so, like a cafe, like Cafe Sweetie, located in downtown Tokyo, but the delicious coffee and sugary sweets are not the only orders this cafe takes. From delivering packages short distances to pickups and drop-offs on the lonely streets at night to zombies and giant monster extermination. Whatever your problem, we're here to help. We will solve any kind of trouble you may have. Waiting for you are the ever-smiling poster girl and the cool, serious newcomer, a petite who never wants to work, and a young woman approaching 30 who wants to get married. If you don't know, there's this ongoing thing in Japan, anime, stuff like that, where if you're a girl and you turn 30 without getting married, suddenly you're an old hag and not marriable, or something like that. I don't know, okay? And the manager is a nice guy who's obsessed with Japan. Whatever your order is, leave it all up to us. So, yeah, I'm not really going to spoil a lot about the anime. It is more than this, than what is said on the surface. Obviously, deep down, there's more story to it, and things like that. Obviously, this one girl here has the gun, so yes, they do use guns and stuff, and I'll say the action scenes in the anime are pretty good. And on top of that too, some of the in-anime stories kind of almost fit like the feel of what some Nikke stories are too, so a lot of this is very transferable, again, in concept to the game, and it's really more that the IP itself maybe is not the most popular one, but you can see here, like, based on the scores and everything like that, it has an 81%, average overall. So, not the highest but, not that bad. The people tend to like the show and his score distribution. So, you don't like a lot of 80s, like 90s. In fact, almost equal 80 and 90s. Actually, a lot of hundreds too. Now, remember that this is user scoring, so you should take this where like anything lower than an 80 is like awful, basically. But this is a pretty good distribution, and a pretty high number of completed based on people who have watched the show compared to drops and stuff like that. So the show, at least by these number metrics, I would say are pretty good. Now, as far as the collab goes, how should you prepare for it, and should you even consider pulling on the units? Well, let's go back at some of these other collabs. Unfortunately, I was not around for the Chainsaw Man or the ReZero collabs. I knew about the game because some of my friends were playing at this time, but I didn't actually start myself until the first Evangelion collab. So I actually started in the middle of that, and I got the 2B and A2 when they reran that last year. So you can expect for every collab you see, there have been 2 SSR units besides the Ava collab where they had 3 for that one time, which is pretty insane. And then one of the characters, it will be a SR, which is going to be quickly forgotten about because SRs are not really useful in the game, unfortunately. Now, in terms of like relevance to the game, it's like kind of up and down. I would say for the most part though, that recent collabs have had at least one unit that has been a meta character for at least a little bit. So, like we can ignore the Chainsaw Man and the Nikke collabs because I don't believe these characters were ever that good. But ReZero, you have Emilia, who is a very, very good character. Well, at least in PvP, she is like a character I really, really want for PvP because she's a rocket launcher, and rocket launchers are pretty insane there. In the Ava collab, the first one, Asuka was a really, really strong first 3 for a very long time. Kind of fall off a little bit now, unfortunately. But for a long time, really, really good. Ray was also a not as quite as good, but a good option. Mari was a serviceable burst 2 for quite a while. In the second Ava collab, the Asuka Wiley, I don't know what that is, but another character, Green DPS that's really, really good. Only kind of recently supplanted by the fact that we got both Liberario and Nayuda and all that other stuff just back to back to back. So Green is pretty much like stacked right now, which is kind of pushing Asuka to like a second or third team slot for solo raid, but still like really good character. In terms of the Stellar Blade collab, Raven has been a good character for quite a bit, and even Eve, right? Eve has worked her way up to be a very strong character for those bossing stages. And then we also have the RE collab that we just had, and Jill's not really good, but Ada is a meta character, like good for story clears, good for bossing, just very strong overall. So I would say that you should plan on pulling if you're only interested in like your progress, like scoring bigger numbers, that at least one of the units is going to be a character you will probably want to pull. So you should reserve at least enough to guarantee you get that one character. Now, but potentially two, right? Obviously, it's a collab, and we have no actual guarantee that any collab will rerun. So you should consider this to be the only time you have to pull these characters. And if you want to collect them and not be sad you're missing characters you might never get, do your diligence and be sure that you are ready for it. Now, what do I think about the collab? I'm just happy it's not an IP I don't like. There's nothing worse, in my opinion, than having a game have a collab and you just don't like the IP. That is way worse than indifference. And I feel that a lot of players are disappointed, but it's more like they're indifferent to the actual IP of Lycoris Recoil versus them just not liking it. And there would be a lot of IPs where I feel I would not like because I'm just personally like not a fan of the IP. As for a fit and everything, I'm less of a stickler about that. There were a lot of IPs I would like in the game, which I would say that maybe not the best fit, but I like the characters and I would like them to be in the game, especially in a Guna game like Nikke. Now, in terms of the other IPs and what they might have been, and people speculating, the big one was Destiny Child, which was an older shift up game, and I think this is just a theory on my part. Maybe the reason why we did not get that quite yet, and we might a little bit down the road in the future, maybe with the second IP collab of the year, is that the timing. So what's the timing? It's that for the collabs, they tend to try to fit a Nikke team that makes sense with the collab, like like the Lycoris Recoil Cafe with Cafe Sweetie makes sense. When we have Resident Evil, they mix that with the ACPU, the cop team, all that stuff, okay? Makes sense there. Now, in Destiny Child, the characters you summon are devils or demons. I don't remember exactly. There is a difference, in like Japan and like other lore stuff like that, obviously. So that's what it was. And I think that the squad or the team that they would want to pair Destiny Child with is the Goddess Squad, or at least the remnants of it now, and like other related teams. And at the moment, we are still too close to Goddess Fall for that to really feel like a suitable collab storyline, like, narratively wise. Because Destiny Child was a very comedic game overall, and I do think they would want to have a more comedic story for that collab, and it just doesn't make sense right now with the mood we have at the moment. So that, again, just my personal theory on why Destiny Child might have been pushed a little bit down the road as a collab, and I do suspect that they will collab with themselves again with Destiny Child, but just not quite yet. Anyway, what do you think about the collab? Leave it down in the comments below, and while you're at it, if you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and subscription too. Greatly appreciated. Anyway, I'm Neptune. It's been a good one. Till next time.